Now, typically I read my clients on this side, and the other person that we're reading for, your soulmate, is on this side. But you guys have, feel free to switch sides if this side doesn't resonate with you. But I'm going to be reading the default side as default or other. Okay. Now, going into the relationship, Aries, you guys got the King of Pentacles. Y'all definitely are feeling that, feeling secure, feeling confident in yourself. You're aware of your value. I think you guys are also going into this feeling very stable. Either you guys are the head of the household, providing for people, providing for your person, your significant other. Some of you guys may be feeling really generous in the relationship or being treated very generously, but this King of Pentacles here is definitely showing me a sign of commitment. Like you're ready to commit and to settle down, to really take the time out to really get to know the person and to really, make something happen with somebody. And I feel like you guys have that mentality of let's settle down, let's make something work, let's build something of great value together, and not have something that's just gonna burn out after like a couple minutes. You know what I mean? So I see you guys definitely ready here to commit. Now the other person's got the star, and I like this energy here for this person here because I see this as an opportunity to heal, an opportunity to grow, and a someone to This also sees this person as this card here for this person mentally going into the relationship can also sees this as an opportunity to go after dreams, right? To achieve a dream, to go after what they're aspiring towards, which is perhaps a relationship with you or a relationship with someone, period. This also sees as a brand new start, as an opportunity to reinvent themselves. So I like this energy, right? This person's definitely taking this time into really putting in and giving of themselves to work. They think they see this as a reason, as something they have to give of themselves in order for it to work, in order for it to create something. And I think both of you guys understand and are very aware of the effort that's going to be going into a relationship, which is why this is also very exciting anyway. But here lies the crazy parts that come up forward. We have the Nine of Wands as this person's body. So even though they have the star here that this person needs healing, this person's looking towards healing, looking towards reaching some goals, are very goal oriented, right? They're very focused on starting a new beginning, starting fresh, starting over, and going about a new beginning with fresh new ideas and everything like that, and willing to give of themselves. They have the Knight of Wands here, so they are a bit defensive. They're kind of they have their blocks up. It's almost like they have their doubts, but they're also very exhausted. So whatever they've been through recently, they're definitely still carrying that weight. They're still carrying that wall with them. So with the Nine of Wands here, this person's just extremely defensive. Okay, extremely defensive. And I feel like this person's also extremely adamant about a certain goal though, but the way they're doing it is kind of keeping that keeping process at bay. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, like they're ready to go mentally, ready to go. They're like hell no in their bodies, right? So that's that tug and pull that thing I'm seeing here. A really weird tug and pull, like a good like a Five of Wands kind of situation here. But this person is not taking action as well as extending of themselves because they're probably tired of taking the first step, tired of doing X, Y, and Z. This person is just like they're not really ready to give up on love, but they're not actively going out to get it, if that makes sense. Like they're still kind of like they're still defensive in regards to that whole thing, which is very interesting, right? They have this aspiration to start something new, but they're just still defensive on it. Definitely weird, but hey, that they're entitled to feel and do whatever they feel like they want to do. Well, on your hand, here you're ready to commit and start something new, but you've got the Four of Swords. Yes, family, what is that? This is all about taking a break, taking a rest, reflecting. And that's not a bad thing, because sometimes we need that time to reflect and to see, to look within ourselves, get some information that we need to get for ourselves, especially after a phase of healing, because what was the Four of Swords before this, right? The Three of Swords, and that's where there's three hearts and three swords and a heart, and that does require time to heal, right? And I feel like y'all definitely taking the time to heal. You guys are resting, but you're also getting, I think you guys are also getting more and more aware of what you're prepared for, what you're ready for, what you're willing to do, what you're willing to, not necessarily sacrifice, but you're willing to commit to. Which leads us down to the King of Swords, which is in your foundation energy or your spirit plane, which is interesting. This is the reason as to why you have the Four of Swords in your present and the King of Pentacles in your mental. Now, you guys can be very career oriented, and you guys maybe put yourself on a hiatus, and it's because you guys have been hurt before, and this is your protective mechanism. Y'all are just like, I'm gonna just focus on my career, focus on money, focus on what I need in my life, right? The essentials, and I'm not gonna think about anything else. But it's not really healing you. It's putting yourself in a very stale state, in a dormant state, not taking any action, not doing anything. But I feel like I said before, it could be because of some sort of protection mechanism. You're not really wanting to put yourself out there because you're afraid to get hurt. So this is your way of doing it, shutting all possibilities down. But at the same time, it could be that you guys are aware of your desire to settle down, ready to kind of commit yourself. But the thing is that you still are coming from a very protective place. So what you're doing, what you've done is healed yourself, perhaps, right? Which is, to a certain extent, reflected, taking the time out to rejuvenate, and there's action that's needed, but because you're trying to protect yourself, you're not moving, you're not doing anything, you're very stuck here. You're just, you got to break out of that. And the other person here's got the Four of Wands. They're ready to move up in a relationship. They're ready to move to a stable place, right? Start dating, start, being in a relationship, right? If this is a pre-existing relationship for a lot of you guys, y'all have been on like a hiatus for a little bit, but this person has not given up on the relationship. They haven't been given up. They are not seeing the end in sight yet. Like, they're ready to, they're very close to the ending. They have one more step to go. And I kind of feel like they are ready to give up in a sense, but they're not. It's really weird. It's like like I said, they have aspirations, they have dreams they want to pursue, especially with this relationship, with the mindset going in this relationship. They can see this as a new start that needs to be had, but they're defensive because of the old stuff that's happened, the things that they've already went through. And although they're not ready to kind of put down that wand yet, they're not too enthused about what's, they're exhausted, right? Everything that they've gone through, they've been through, and it's still weighing a huge factor. Right? It's a really big factor. But they really want to see this progress. They really want to see this progress. And they really don't want to give up before they see the potential of this relationship be lived out. If this is a pre-existing one, or if this is a brand new one, right? It's a brand new one. They want to see this go through. They don't want to just completely quit out on love, because I don't think they personally can. And I think they're just tired, right? They've put in so much, and they just need that extra gusto to keep going forward, that inspiration. And I feel like you're the inspiration to continue to push forward, even though they're ready to just kind of throw in the towel. You know what I mean? So it's weird. So at the same time, even though they're tired of putting in work, they're willing to if they're given the incentive to, if that makes sense. Now, some of you guys, some of you guys here, or some cross watchers, or your soulmate here, it's depending on your person, they may be tired of doing the stuff, but they may not be ready to give up, right? They may be tired of the run around, they may be tired of, the whole rhetoric, but they're not giving up. Some of them are ready to give up. So this to break it down for everybody. Some of them are ready to give up. Some of them are struggling to keep pushing forward. Some of them, if they're ready to give up, they would have given up already, right? But something is still keeping them there to where they're still fighting for the outcome of this to turn out, because they still have hope. They still have hope. But then some of them are not ready to give up because they still see the potential, therefore hope or have faith in the situation that it will work out to getting to a place where there's more stability and a place of celebration and time, a time for celebration. And it may be that they know that the potential for this relationship is victorious and very, very exciting, very happy, because how you guys are together. Right? Because what brought you two together is this collaboration, this cooperation, this work together, the support that you guys have for one another. The way you guys work together in a community, like, that is really something that they're looking at. Like, this is something that's giving them what they need to continue to push forward even when they're tired. But the challenge is to live out the dream, is to just be a part of each other's worlds, right? To just be content and not expect anything from each other, right? Just to be happy with one another, just to enjoy each other's company. But in order for you to do that, there has to be steps that need to be taken here. Make the effort, right? Take the effort. And that starts by just going on how you feel rather than everything that you've been through, leaving the old behind, because that's what the world talk about, letting the old go and starting a new beginning. Same thing. But you got to start that new beginning. This new beginning isn't gonna just plop on your doorstep. You still got to get up to the door and accept the gift if it is, right? But it's totally and utterly having that, this appreciation for what you have together. And that is what's going to build this relationship. That's what's going to start this whole relationship up. That's what's going to, definitely kickstart the new year. Because you guys are just going to be with each other and not kind of do things to get to a certain outcome. It's about relieving yourself of all the expectations and just being in the presence of one another. Because I think you guys have something together here. There's a connection that you definitely feel. Some of you guys is reconnecting with one another all over again. Some of you guys are exes and you guys reconnected. Some of you guys are in a previous relationship and you guys reconnected in a very platonic way and you're starting to feel that love again. But the expectation is what's coming back up. The old pains are coming back up. And to truly release those is by committing to each other and just being in the moment and just living each other, living life, right? Living with each other's day-to-day emotions, one day at a time. It's interesting reading, an interesting reading indeed. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at your wisdom of the oracle. TikTok, like that. I like this card for this actually, because this is talking about timelessness, right? There's no such thing as time. There's no need to rush. There's no need to do anything that definitely, oh, look at that. The fates is coming up too. Everything happens. Oh, okay. You got some messages here. But yeah, so first off, TikTok, right? And that talks about there's no need to rush. There's no need to hurry up and do X, Y, and Z. And there's definitely the past that is left to factor. But the present is also here as well. That's the main focus. Instead of looking at how much time we have left, instead of looking at what we've been through, what about what you're feeling right now? Because everything is living in this present moment. Time is merely a measurement that we look at and, just to help us assess where we are in this day-to-day life. But ultimately, the past, the present, and the future live all together because we determine all those things and how they affect us in the moment. So it's important, guys, when it comes to TikTok, is to focus on the moment. Don't focus so much on what happened. Don't focus so much on what the future can be. Just focus on loving each other and being in each other's energy so you guys can really build something of great value. Because if you focus too much on the past, you're not going to grow anywhere. If you focus too much on the future, you're not going to really feel like you guys have anything to go by because of the past that hasn't been working out. So be in the moment to build something new, because that's the only way this is going to work. Now, with the fates, though, the fates also talk about the past as well. There's reasons, there's things that happen to us in our day-to-day lives that help us to be this person that we are today. Maybe more secure in being in a relationship, more confident in ourselves and aware of our value and are able to communicate our truths and understand what our values are in regards to the way we think, understand that our truths are important to communicate with one another and understand that our perspective is important as well, right? And I feel like those things help us to be the person that we are after everything that we've gone through, the pain, the struggles. But that's not the thing that's going to make us who we are later, right? We can let those teach us those lessons, and carry those out through our life, or we can let them determine where we go, which don't have to, right? Because what we can do with those things in the past is take what we know from those, take those lessons, and explore those. To truly see where they lead us, to truly, go where we wanted to go in the first place, go where we want to go now, and not let the past determine where we go first. Because fate is not destiny. We decide our destiny. Fate helps us to understand what that destiny truly means for us. Right? Fate is to help us get to that destiny. It's never to ever tell us what our destiny is.